Hey everyone, ready for another deep dive? We're going to be taking a look at some really cool AI tools today.
Yeah, this should be fun.
You know how AI is getting so big right now? Well, we found this article in the January 2025 issue of 905 magazine,
Oh, yeah.
and it highlights these 4 tools that can seriously boost your productivity.
That's what we like to hear.
Right, and it really highlights how much AI is becoming part of our everyday lives, even at work.
Absolutely. And I think the article does a good job of, showing how these tools are really useful right now.
Totally. It's not just some futuristic fantasy anymore.
Not at all.
It's about practical stuff we can use to get things done better and faster.
For sure. And personally, what I find really exciting is that they can change how we even understand information.
Yeah.
Like you can use them to make complex topics way more accessible.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, let's jump into the first one.
Okay.
Google Notebook LM. So you might already know about Notebook LM. But in September 2024, they launched this audio overview feature that is just mind-blowing.
I know.
It basically turns any document you have into a podcast.
It's incredible. You just give it the document, like an article, research paper, or whatever, and it generates a whole podcast episode with key points.
Yeah.
And it even has 2 AI hosts that have a conversation about it.
It's so cool.
And it uses Google's Paul M2 language model.
Wow.
It's super sophisticated in how it picks out the important stuff and then structures the conversation.
Yeah. And the article said that the whole process only takes a few minutes.
Oh, it's really fast.
They actually gave this example of turning a 905 article about working from home into podcast.
Oh, wow.
Imagine that, for you, what if you could just listen to a podcast summary of that, super long report you have to read instead of spending hours reading it?
Oh, that would be amazing.
Right.
Think about all the content creators out there. They're going to go crazy for this.
Yeah.
Think about generating audio versions of articles or blog posts.
Oh, yeah.
And for anyone who's an auditory learner, this is huge.
Yeah.
It makes so much content accessible to them.
Totally. But the article did mention one thing.
Yeah.
One limited. So as of January 2025,
Good.
the audio overview feature doesn't support Danish.
I see.
But, knowing how fast AI is developing,
Yeah.
I bet it's only a matter of time before that
I
changes.
think so, too. The pace of development is incredible.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder what other language barriers AI is going to break down in the future.
Totally. Okay. So next up is infography.
Okay.
And true to its name, this tool is all about turning text into visually appealing infographics.
Yeah, and what I think is so fascinating about this one is that it doesn't just throw some random images on a page,
Right.
It actually uses design principles,
Right.
like color psychology and visual hierarchy to actually make it easier to understand. So you end up with something that's not just pretty, but it actually helps you process the information.
So it's designed to be helpful and not just look nice.
Yes.
And they use all sorts of visuals too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Photos, diagrams, charts, icons.
The whole shebang.
I know the article even mentioned how they used infography to create all these different infographics from a 9 to 5 article about the 4-day work week.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Apparently, we're all going to be working 4 days a week by 2030.
Right. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And the article had this really clever tip for using it.
Yeah.
Repurposing old content.
Oh.
So let's say you wrote a blog post a year ago that's still relevant.
Okay.
You could just turn it into an infographic.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And it gives it new life,
Yeah. It's like a makeover.
Exactly.
I love it. And you can get started with a paid subscription for just $25 for 50 infographics.
That's not bad,
No, not at all.
especially for making your content stand out.
Whoa. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's move on to Pictory. Now, this one takes things even further. It turns text into videos.
Okay.
So video is such a powerful way to communicate, right?
Absolutely.
But it can take so long to make something that looks really good.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Pictory uses AI to make the whole process way simpler.
Oh, wow.
Even if you have 0 video editing experience,
No kidding.
you can even add subtitles, edit clips, and incorporate logos and highlights.
Oh, that's cool.
Right.
Yeah.
The article highlighted this example where they made a 3-minute video
Okay.
from a Match Office News article about co-working taking over the office rental market.
Interesting.
And they said it only took 5 or 6 minutes to generate.
Oh, wow, so fast.
It makes you wonder, will tools like Pictory lead to a ton more video content? What if everyone starts making professional looking videos because it's so easy?
Right. It's a really interesting thought.
I know. And if you're interested in trying it out, there's a free trial.
Oh,
And then it's only $25 a month after that.
it's not bad at all.
Okay, so on to our final AI tool,
Okay.
Whisperflow.
Whisperflow.
This one is all about dictation,
Okay.
which is something I've been trying out a lot lately, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's so cool about Whisperflow is that it recognizes speech in over 100 languages.
Wow.
So it's great for global communication.
For sure.
And it's supposed to convert speech to text like 3 times faster than typing.
That's impressive.
That's a huge time saver for anyone who spends a lot of time writing.
Absolutely.
And they've built in all these really cool features, too.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Like tone recognition, so it can tell if you're being sarcastic or enthusiastic.
Wow.
It even helps you with error correction and has automatic editing features.
It sounds really powerful.
It is. Think about what this means for accessibility, too.
Yeah.
For anyone who has trouble typing, whether it's because of a physical limitation or a learning difference,
Right.
this could be like a total game changer.
Absolutely. And for those of us who are concerned about privacy,
Yeah.
they say that Whisper stores all the data locally on your computer.
That's good.
Yeah.
And like Pictory, it also offers a free trial, so you can try it before you commit.
Oh, that's great.
It's really incredible to think about all 4 of these AI tools, you know?
Yeah.
Like how much they're streamlining so many tasks,
Yeah.
like from writing and research to content creation and communication.
It's wild. Yeah, like, where's all of this heading?
That's what I want to know. Like, what are the bigger implications for like the future of work?
That's a great question, and one we're definitely going to delve into more in the next part of our deep dive, so stay tuned.
Yeah, stay with us.
Welcome back. You know, it's really fascinating to think about these AI tools.
Yeah,
Like, they're impressive on their own,
right.
but they're also part of this much bigger shift that's happening right now.
It really does feel like we're at like a turning point
Yeah.
in how we approach work and even like creativity itself.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, where do you see all of this heading?
Well, one thing that stands out to me is that the line between creator and consumer is getting really blurry. You know, like with these AI tools, anyone can make really high quality content now,
Yeah.
whether it's a podcast, an infographic, or a video.
Right.
So this could lead to like an explosion of like user-generated content, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, imagine like everyone having the tools to share their ideas and stories so easily
Exactly.
in these really engaging formats. I mean, what do you think that means for like traditional media?
That's a great question. It's definitely a challenge for them, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, they'll need to adapt and evolve, I think,
Right.
maybe by focusing more on like in-depth analysis or like curating content really carefully,
Right.
or even like fostering a strong sense of community.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a threat to them, but it's definitely pushing them to innovate.
It really makes you wonder what the media landscape is going to look like in a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about efficiency for a minute.
One of the big promises of AI is that it can automate all these like boring tasks and
Yeah.
free up our time so we can focus on more meaningful work. Do you think that's actually realistic?
Absolutely. We're already seeing it happening in some sectors. AI is being used to analyze huge amounts of data and identify patterns and make predictions in fields like finance,
Yeah.
healthcare, and marketing.
Okay.
So this frees up the human experts to focus on tasks that require like uniquely human skills.
So things that AI can't do.
Exactly, like empathy, critical thinking, and creativity.
So it's more like AI augmenting human capabilities rather than replacing us.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance, you know,
Yeah.
using AI for the things it's good at so we can focus on what we're good at.
That makes a lot of sense. I do wonder about like the human connection side of things. Like, are we going to become so reliant on these tools that we forget how to like
Yeah.
interact with each other in a genuine way? That's a valid concern, for sure. Technology should enhance human connection, not replace it.
Right.
You know, I think it's up to us to use these tools in a way that promotes collaboration and communication,
Yeah.
not isolation, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine using AI to help with brainstorming sessions
Oh, that's a good idea.
or to translate languages in real time.
Oh, wow.
So we can break down those communication barriers and bring people together.
Those are great examples. So it's about using technology intentionally
Yes,
to create more meaningful connections, not less.
exactly. And that actually leads us to another really interesting area, the future of learning. Like, how might AI personalize education and make knowledge more accessible.
This is something I'm personally really excited about.
Yeah, me too.
Imagine having AI tutors that can adapt to different learning styles.
Right?
And give you customized feedback and support.
Or AI-powered platforms that like curate educational content from all over the world.
Yeah.
It could make learning a truly global experience.
The possibilities are pretty mind-blowing.
I know, right? Imagine AI translating super complex scientific papers into something a child can understand.
Wow.
Or creating interactive simulations that make history come alive.
Yeah. It's like we could have this renaissance in learning.
Exactly.
Driven by AI.
It's really powerful, but as with any powerful tool, we need to approach it carefully and responsibly.
Right.
You know, it's not just about the technology itself, but how we use it.
You've touched on something really important there.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just develop these new AI tools. We need to think critically
Yes.
about the ethical implications and make sure they're used for good.
Absolutely. It has to be a collaborative effort involving technologists, policymakers, educators, and just individuals, you know,
Right.
to make sure that AI is serving humanity and helping us create a better future.
It's really inspiring to think about all the positive things AI could do.
Yeah.
But it's also important to acknowledge the potential risks.
Definitely. It's about finding that balance.
Yeah.
You know, harnessing the power of AI while also being mindful of its limitations.
Okay, so as we're wrapping up this part of our deep dive, what are some key takeaways you'd want our listener to walk away with?
Welcome back to our deep dive into AI productivity tools. We've had a lot of time talking about like the potential of these tools.
Yeah.
But now I'm ready to get practical, you know?
Okay.
Like how are people actually using them in the real world?
Well, it's been really exciting to see them being adopted across so many fields already.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like from healthcare and education to marketing and finance.
Okay.
It feels like we're really on the cusp of a major shift.
Okay. I'm all ears. Give me some real world examples.
Okay, so let's start with healthcare.
Okay.
They're using AI to analyze medical images now.
Oh, wow.
Which can help doctors catch diseases like cancer way earlier.
Yeah.
And with much better accuracy.
That's amazing. So AI is literally saving lives.
Exactly. And it's not just diagnostics either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it can personalize treatment plans, predict patient outcomes.
And even streamline like administrative tasks.
Okay.
So then doctors and nurses can spend more time with their patients.
Right. So use AI for those routine tasks.
Yeah.
And free up the humans for the things that really matter.
Exactly. So remember those AI-powered tutors we talked about?
Oh, yeah. The ones that can like personalize learning.
Yes.
It's a pretty cool concept.
Right. Well, they're actually being used in some schools and universities already.
Oh, wow.
They could adapt to how different people learn.
Yeah.
And give specific feedback.
Mm-hmm.
And even figure out where students might be struggling.
So it's like having a personal learning companion.
Exactly. And it's not just in schools either.
Okay.
AI-powered language learning apps are making it so much easier to learn a new language at your own pace.
Right.
And in fun ways.
So AI is breaking down barriers to education.
That's right.
And making knowledge more accessible.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's switch gears to the business world for a second.
Okay.
How are companies using these tools?
Marketing is one area where we're seeing a huge impact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're using AI to analyze tons of customer data so they can create really personalized marketing campaigns.
So instead of just getting random ads, we get messages that actually make sense for us.
Exactly. It's way more effective and less annoying.
Right. And it's not just about ads either.
No.
It can help create better content, automate social media, even predict what customers are going to do.
Pretty powerful.
So for our listener who's thinking, okay, this is cool, but how can I use these tools?
Right.
What advice would you give them?
I'd say start by thinking about the areas where you could be more efficient.
Okay.
Or productive.
Yeah.
You know, are you spending too much time on things you could automate?
Right.
Are you having trouble making content that people actually want to read or watch?
Yeah.
Once you figure out what you need, you can explore the different tools that are out there.
Yeah.
A lot of them have free trials.
Oh, that's great.
So you can experiment.
That's a good point.
And see what works best for you.
So be proactive and try things out.
Exactly. And remember, these tools are always changing.
Right.
So stay curious, keep learning, and be open to trying new things.
Great advice. Well, as we wrap up this whole deep dive into AI productivity tools, what's like one final thought you would leave with our listener?
I think the most important thing to remember is that AI is a powerful tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it can be used in good ways and bad ways.
Right.
As it becomes more and more part of our lives, we need to use it wisely. and responsibly to build a better future.
That's a great message. It's a reminder that we all have a part to play in shaping how AI develops.
We do.
I hope this deep dive has given everyone a taste of what AI can do and inspired you to explore how these tools can improve your own life. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.